Hi. So, can you give a brief introduction about yourself? Like, how do you put up and where did you study and stuff?
Sure thing. So I have humble beginnings. I'm from Visakhapatnam. It's a tier 2 city in Andhra, or was now like a capital. That I graduated from Geetham. I'd done my schooling from Visakhapatnam, and then I started off as music. That was my big break into analytics. And post that, I switched companies to Ola as a senior business analyst, and then Amazon as a business engineer.
Okay, great. Uh, so like, you have mainly your expertise in the field of data analytics and analytics in general. So the field is really hyped up right now. So like, do you feel that after like 7 or 6 or 7 years, the hype will remain same, or is it going up, or is it going to go down? Like, what are your thoughts?
So I think AI has been said to be the next big thing for quite a few years now. It's just that now we know what is the tech that goes into it, and we have an understanding of what are the different elements that go into it. Like a few years back, a recommendation system or how an app works was not something that was a common knowledge to all of us. Now if we Google it, and like now with the whole chat GPT thing, like it's very easy for people to recreate stuff, which is why it's more accessible and understandable to people as a job profile, which is why it's seeing a lot of boom. But that also means that the use cases for AI have now been widely spread across, and people are starting to accept the use cases, which is why we are seeing this. And companies earlier also weren't very analytics driven. Now there is an opportunity for them to understand their data better, and they understand the value of what analytics can provide, which is why we are seeing a lot of traction around these keywords or job profiles, because they didn't know what to do with it. Now all the big data exists. Now they know that okay, this is the job profile that can work on it, which is the reason why there is so much talk around it. But I feel the real buzzwords right now are more crypto, blockchain, and
Yeah.
meta. Yeah.
So like in the next 6 7 years, the roles might decrease. You see.
So it's going to diversify, right? Analyst is not going to remain an analyst. Like a product owner was not a product owner anymore. Now there's product managers that have come up in the market. Similarly, we didn't have an analytics function or a data science and data analytics differentiation, or even a business analytics function that's separate. Amazon only last year came up with a differentiator of business analyst and business intelligence engineer. So the roles can change going forward, but I feel analytics is still at the core problem solving space, and it will remain that way even if the job title is going to change.
Okay, great. Uh, so like in 2023, if I am someone who wants to get in the field of analytics, seeing my future, is it really worth it to give it a shot right now? Because I have to compete with a lot of experienced professionals like you who have been in the industry from like 6 7 years and more. So is it worth for me to enter as a fresher?
No role should be tried out just because we'll be somewhere 6 7 years later, right? It should be more around am I passionate about it? What is it that I'll learn on it? What is it that I see for myself from the job profile? So, that being said, if a fresher picks analytics right now, the options that they get or the skill sets that they get down the line are more in number. I'm coming in from a perspective that analysts don't remain analysts. They also move into a BizOps, or they move into product. Like analytics is close to these functions. So there is future scope when you're trying out these profiles to understand where your interests lie. So it's a nice place to be in to get to know your interests versus you thinking that you'll be stuck in that role forever. But it's dependent on the candidate and their goals, and like what they find fun at work.
Okay, great. Uh, So, like, can you tell us about the complete roadmap to enter into analytics? Like, what should I like? Today, I'm at point zero. How can I become analytic? Like, get in the field of analytics in the like 6 months or 1 year. Like, what step did you follow exactly?
So I was a campus placement hire. I did not have to go through this process that you folks are trying to get into right now. And
Yeah.
I really admire what's happening currently in colleges. Like folks are interested in the job stream. They research what skill sets are required. They're building portfolios, which is great, and which is what I would also advise doing for someone who wants to get into an analytics position. But the core competencies of analytics are still remain coding, which is the SQL, Excel, and if someone is more inclined towards the data science aspect of it, modeling R, Python, and analytical capabilities like understanding what is A/B testing or what are the applications of what I will learn. So these are from a tech perspective are still going to be the core competencies.
Okay.
Other than this, there is also going to be an understanding of math, like mentioning. No, we can't really present insights unless we understand the underlying why am I defining a metric as such, or if it is a modeling perspective, is it significant enough? Like, is the data I'm considering for my analysis the right amount of data? So to be more confident about our analysis, it's best to have an understanding of math. So that's also something that's a core competency of an analyst. Apart from that, there's also some soft skills like problem solving and storyboarding, like being able to not send out a dump of data on Excel, but actually say, you know what, this is what it means in a few lines of English.
And like, what has been the level of oops in Python while going into analytics? Like in the job of analytics, like what has been the level of oops?
So it's very particular to the role you're applying. Like I was mentioning, there's data science and data analytics, right? So if you're someone that's more inclined towards creating models, or you're more of an individual contributor, then the skill sets or the learnings that you should have should be transcendable to that specific role. Like I'll expect that okay, you will start building a recommendation system for me, or you will own up personalization or recommendation for what you should be sending to which customer, or from like a tech perspective, how deep do you want to get into it, right? So there's a few
Yeah.
people who are more inclined towards the business aspect of things, and there's a few people interested in the tech aspect of things. So it's very dependent on that specific aspect from an individual. But at an overall
Okay.
level, PySpark is something that's basic and can be expected from everyone.
Okay, great. Uh, so like, what has been the current experience of working in your current company and leaving Amazon behind? Like, is there any difference that is maybe better or worse? Like, what has been your experience?
I think all job experiences are different, right? So it's not an apples to apples comparison for me, but the kind of problems that I was dealing with when I was in Amazon are very different from what I deal with currently. But in terms of the depth of the problem that I can go into, it's much higher in Amazon because I'm dedicatedly focused on solving one problem. Whereas the breadth of problems that I solve currently are higher in number.
Yeah.
Those are some things that changed for me, but also what I wanted at the point of my career.
So it's more into the core as compared to the Amazon.
So it's more of you get to lead a bigger element versus a smaller element,
Yeah.
which is why your breadth of your understanding is more as compared to working in a company that's already established and already has all the bifurcations behind it.
Okay. Uh, so this is one of the most important questions for a lot of people. Like, what has been the salary structure for like a fresher or with someone who has experience like you, like 5 years, 6 years, 7 years?
Okay. So what I'm seeing currently and hearing currently is the base package is very dependent on what college you graduate from. Just like
Okay.
an MBA candidate will also be judged like what is the median salary you're joining organizations, right? Is the same. So on an average, it's kind of around 5, but there you'll also hear those edge cases where there's a very high package offer to a fresher or a very low package offer to a fresher because of where they're coming from or because they're switching streams. So there's a ton of factors, but on an average, 5 to 6 LP is what is on.
A fresher would get. And for experienced people, like 5, 6 years, 7 years down the line?
Yeah, it's not so straightforward, because then you'll start seeing that startups have a different function of ESOPs or fixed and variable. It plays very differently and is very tied to your expertise, right? So on an average, 12, 15 is what is
Okay.
on the plate. But from there, people go till 40, 50 also. So the from the width of the band is very high.
Got it. So, like, what has been the work-life balance in the field of analytics? Because we ask this question to everybody who comes on the podcast. So, like, what has been your work-life balance in the field of analytics? Like, is it too hectic, or is it like okay-ish, or what?
Yeah, it's been hectic. I am not sure what you're hearing outside, but there's days when you work 18 hours also, but there's also days
Oh.
when you're done early, because we're very close to the business, right? So whatever's happening from the business will get drilled on into the analyst day to day as well. And analysts are expected to have a lot of ownership and a lot of ability to deep dive and have a lot of high attention to detail, which all mean more work translating for the individual. But that being said, it's very management driven as well. So establishing your priorities and being more productive at work is something that drills down from a CEO level, right? So if your CEO has a great working style, that's just drilled down into the rest of the ecosystem as well. And that's something that I've also seen and enjoy currently.
That's great. So, like, you have been in the industry for like 5 to 6 years. Now, if I am someone who is like 2 to 3 years in the industry, what extra steps or what extra things should I do in order to sustain in the industry and grow? Like, what extra should I do from the rest of the pack?
Okay. So at an overall level, analytics, everyone can write that piece of code right now. So it's getting very the expectation itself is at a very base level, that it's SQL is just like Excel. Everyone is expected to know it and learn it. So where you will start being a differentiator is when you show competencies around the broader elements of business understanding, or how well you are able to translate your understanding of data into insights, how well you adhere to more process heavy stuff, or how well you can bring in another lens or perspective into the work that you're doing. But other than that, I think people are such a unique, right? So you'll start figuring out what is a unique skill set that you can that you excel at. So you'll soon start understanding what is this element of me that I can start refining and setting myself apart. So it won't be I'm better than person B. It's more like, if there is a certain set of problems that require this skill set, Vipul will be the best candidate to do this.
Yeah.
That's the kind of story you'll build around you, and others will also try to sharpen. So it's more of understanding you and your strengths that will play a role for you.
Okay. That's sauce for the podcast. Thank you very much.